Good afternoon and welcome to a rainy South Lakes. Considering it's coming up to May, rather strange. However, that doesn't detract from the Qashqai e-Power in magnetic blue and pearl black. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planet Auto. The Qashqai, versatile, practical and rather good looking and loved by many a Brit. Qashqai first appeared in 2007 and we're on the third gen. Correct that, because about 5 days ago they unveiled the latest one, but that means you'll be able to pick this up for a great price. You won't believe how many people actually buy these year in, year out. I mean, even in April this year, it's the best selling in the UK. And I'm not surprised. It looks great. It offers good economy. It's full of tech and safety, and it's perfect for the family. It still retains modern looks, it just hasn't dated, and it looks the part. And the new one, in a word, follows the design route or trends of Aria. You can order that from May. The thing is, a lot of people know what they want out of SUV, so this may well suit. And what you get for the money on this gen is pretty damn impressive. Adaptive lights, adaptive cruise control, heads-up display, and this is a Techno, not a Techno Plus, and ours is automatic. And with the two-tone comes in at around £41,000, but you can pick up a mild hybrid Vizia for around £27,000, and there's 5 trims to choose from with varying powertrains, including manual transmissions, Xtronic 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. This is e-Power, and it means it's economical, it's fun to drive, and interestingly, it has a 1.5 3-cylinder petrol engine, an electric motor and battery. Okay, that's not interesting. What is it's not actually driven by the engine, it's driven by the motor. So the wheels are connected directly to the motor. It's similar to the eHev system with Honda. The thing is, that provides a rather engaging drive. The amount of people that will underestimate you in this is unbelievable. For some reason, e-Powered all-wheel drive just isn't offered in Qashqai. Now interestingly, X-Trail e-Power has all-wheel drive. So what I'm hoping, at least with this next gen, is that we'll see an all-wheel drive one. The thing that really stands out to me on this Qashqai especially is the design language. It takes the characteristics from the previous gen, but almost minimalizes and slims it down. And that kind of thing is possible with LED lights. Back when it was halogens, you couldn't have this kind of design, especially the way that they wrap around the semi-clamshell bonnet. I love the addition of glosses, the spin on the original grille, the chrome trim, and the chunky cladding. Vents, and they go straight through to the arch. You've got some little fog lights down here, wrapped in, well, it looks like a brushed metal. It is plastic, obviously. Bezel. And just look at the size of the windscreen. Great visibility throughout on this vehicle. And even if it is a bit grim, then you've got all your sensors and cameras anyway. The thing is, all these accents, design styles, culminate into, well, an impressive looking SUV. It's tech loaded, adaptive lights are LED, automatic, high beam assist, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation. It's full of safety and convenience like you'd expect from Nissan. And it ticks the boxes that, well, other SUVs don't. And it still has traditional functionality, but you'll see what I mean when I step inside. Even when I was flooring it around the Cotswolds, I was still getting well over 46 to the gallon. And it boasts 53, but to be honest, on an eco run, I reckon you get it higher than that. I really enjoyed the experience. It's a fun vehicle to drive, and you can't say that about all SUVs. Now, one thing you need to know is the safety doesn't nag. For example, it'll read a road sign and then beep a couple of times, I think it's maybe 3, and then flash the sign. It won't keep going, slow down, which narks a lot of people nowadays. Yeah, I wouldn't think twice about buying this one, to be honest. 19-inch wheels, lovely. Decent profile tyre, making it comfortable on A roads, B roads and motorways. And that is needed with the state of today's roads. It offers a comfortable, secure ride. I don't use that very often, but because of the lane keep assist and the way the safety system works, you can really tell it's doing its job. For example, I turned it off on the motorway and the SUV got blown and as soon as I pressed it back on, it straightens up. You know, normally you'd just be driving and correcting, and with this, you just don't have to. In a word, the safety system works exceptionally well. Nissan have been known for great designs, great safety, good powertrains, etc. for years and years and years. And before you say it, yes, I do know they're part of an alliance. The thing is, I see that as a good thing, because it means that manufacturers can share technologies, platforms, etc. And all that does is further automotive. Well, in my eyes anyway. Black plastic cladding to give it an off-roady look. And also look at the ride height. It looks like it's raised. And then you've got the paint. Magnetic blue and pearl black. With chrome roof rails and a strip that runs along the window line. In my eyes, it's the perfect colour ensemble. Especially with the tints. And the shaping of this rear window. It's all, I suppose, refreshing for an SUV. Because SUVs typically look the same, you need to make them stand out. And look, the line here. Decent sized door mirrors, blind spot detection, power folding, and keyless entry, and keyless go. And I do like these colour coded door handles. Ah yes, I didn't really go into e-power. I said it's got petrol engine and electric motor battery, but I didn't tell you, you don't need to charge it. It literally does it all itself. So yeah, similar to eHev in that way too. So all you do is put petrol in it. But you're asking yourself, does that mean it doesn't have a pure EV mode? Well, yes it does. 9 times out of 10 I didn't even use it because the vehicle will go into electric itself anyway. It's intelligent. Let's take a look inside. And I really do like the two-tone, got like a deep blue and black. And then the stitching. Padded area and decent door pocket. The door opens nice and wide, and that means it'll be child's play to climb into. Nice. Now the interior looks modern. Now note that I say modern, not futuristic. The shaping, the trim finishes, and everything's plush. Big centre console, and it's full of tech. It's trimmed rather nicely and it's full of functionality, including my electric seat. Got a number of buttons here, including your power tailgate. And there's a Bose sound system, and it does sound banging. And yes, you do have a grab handle. Great work, Nissan. Nice solid build quality. Mind you, that's throughout. Padded plush areas. I mean, everything's just built to a great standard. Soft touches pretty much everywhere. You will find harder plastics. Nope, that's not even hard. Hard plastics, where generally you won't touch. For example here. Thing is, they're still a good quality. Pretty much everything you touch is enveloped in a premium material, and I really love this finish. I mean, just look at the seats. They're not just comfortable and supportive. I mean, that one is manual, granted, but just look at the trim. It's like a blue that fades to black and then back to blue. And you can get a lighter trim on Tecna and Tecna Plus. It's nice to see something like that, because so many new interiors are just drab, and it's great to see that you've got lumbar adjustment in both. As a family SUV, it ticks so many boxes. Wireless charger, charging points, cup holders, and it's spacious. It's great to see traditional functionality, rotaries, proper buttons. Now bear in mind, because we've got the Tecna, we will have some options that you won't see on, say, the starter trims. For example, a heads-up display, and it is awesome. If you've never driven with one, it means that you can keep your eye on the windscreen as opposed to keep looking down at the cluster for speed, etc. And with adaptive cruise, it pretty much does it all itself anyway. Proper buttons on the steering wheel, nice chunky stalks, and of course climate control, digital readouts, and very simple to operate. You've also got demis buttons and, more importantly, heated seats. And they are on a button rather than going through a screen. Infotainment responsive, cool looking, not too big. It just suits the rest of the ambience. Proper buttons once again, and a rotary for volume. Simple to navigate, full of functionality too. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, and some of the car's settings. You can also tweak various things, and I'm sure there's parts of the internet as well, things like weather. There's also a number of apps and things like that. The cluster. Digital analog, one of my favourites. I do like a digital cluster, but I really love one that has an analog layout. I know it's kind of redundant, but there's something connects to me. I suppose it's a familiarity. very straightforward to read. And with the electric motor, you can see when you're using power and when you're regenning, and everything else is pretty much straightforward. Fuel gauge, little fuel computer in the middle, tyre pressures, shows you what gear you're in, what driving modes. Speaking of driving modes, you've got sport, eco and standard. When I went on the road trip, I drove pretty much all the time in standard, and it was perfect. Gave me enough acceleration, but also gave me decent economy too. As Annabelle would say, the Goldilocks setting. Electronic handbrake, and the shifter's nice and straightforward. Auto park, and as I mentioned, EV mode. And the best button in the whole vehicle, E-pedal. Awesome. That's my preferred mode, especially on a country road. Well, it offers an exhilarating drive, and it means that you technically don't need to brake. Lots of adjustment in the steering wheel. If you've noticed, it comes out a fair way. And it means that you can get the perfect position. Couple that with the seats, padded areas on the door, and it's great for a long haul. Headroom, even at 6'3", and bear in mind my seat is on the floor, I've got, what's that, about 1.5 inches maybe? And yeah, perfectly fine. And that's even with this sunroof that juts into the roofline, so yeah, all good. On the left hand side, I've got a footrest, and it's a 2-pedal system, an armrest. If you've noticed, it's just wide enough for myself and Annabelle. Underneath, some extra storage with a USB-C and a USB-A. Glove box, I don't hold my breath for one of these in a modern SUV. And yes, it's not the biggest, but you get something in there, so that's all right. We've got a panoramic roof with a power blind. Nice and easily operated with this switch up here. Also, map reading lights, of course an SOS button, and auto dimming mirror. Let's take a look in the back. I almost forgot. Heated steering wheel and a proper demisting heated windscreen. If you like this type of video, why not subscribe to the channel? You just hit the button on the right hand side. It's free and you'll get an alert every time we upload. Also, if you do like the video, why not give it a like? It all helps and it means we can get more cars. Thank you. Great design language throughout, and even though it's got the modern look, it still resembles, well, Qashqai, and that appeals to a lot of people. Disc brakes all around with the front vented. I do like a sloping roofline. And the thing is, with the Qashqai, it doesn't affect the rear headroom either. Perfect. Let's take a look at the rear. The door opens nice and wide. To be honest, that's 90 degrees, well, thereabouts. You just don't see that very often. Lovely finish. Climbing in, I do have to duck my head a little bit, but it's not so bad at all, especially at 6'3". I can get my feet under the seats and I've got a lot of legroom. Decent door pocket, and this is all plush and a padded area. Nice. Electric window, but no heated seat. Now before I move any further, I'd just like to point out that this vehicle has done 15,000 miles. Now that is a mega number for journalists. They're not the most attentive looking after it, driving it, etc. So that just, well, compounds the build and the longevity. You know, these seats will have been tested to within 1 inch of their life and they still look great. It feels good. That's the thing, you buy a Qashqai and it will last you. It'll also retain its value too. Comfortable rear seats and finish the same as the front. Not too buckety, and yeah, they could do with being a little more plush, but they're comfortable and they're supportive enough. Pull down armrests, cup holders. Now you can't recline the rear seats, but to be honest, the rear backrest is at a decent angle. And sat like this, I've got decent headroom, say about 1/2 inch, and I'm not too low in my seat. My eye line is about here. So many SUVs, especially with sloping roof lines, cut it off, so it's not as easy to look out, but it's also a decent sized window too. Even with privacy glass, the Qashqai still retains its light and airy feel. You do have an extra little window here to let more light in, and the back window's pretty big too. It's set up to give the passenger a great experience. It's interesting to see a transmission tunnel, but it's not too invasive. USB-A and USB-C, and some vents. Map pockets on both seats, that's a rarity, and map reading lights too. And look, a grab handle above every door. The thing I would have liked to see is padding over here. This is all hard plastics, but where do you draw the line? Good to see that you can adjust the seatbelt height in the front. And finally, Isofix points on the seats and airbags around the vehicle. I do like this massive open space in the centre. It means I get a great view out the windscreen. Let's take a look at the back. One thing I've noticed compared to a lot of other SUVs is, at my height, it's so easy to just climb out. I don't have to stoop or anything. Modern styling once again. LED rear lights. Just look at the sculpture. Love it. Two-tone rear diffuser styling, and I call that, say, a mineral grey. Rear parking sensors, reversing camera, and the whole thing just comes together rather well. No exhaust. Well, there obviously is one, but you can't actually see it. Sporty rear spoiler with the high-level brake light. And yes, a rear wiper. Let's take a look in the rear. Now I can open it either with the key, the button on the dash, or the button. And I can stop it. And if it wasn't on this hill, I would actually be able to stand under it. No load lip. Awesome. Now yes, obviously that does reduce room a little, but to be honest, it's not a bad sized boot. And I do like the way that you can segment it, so you could have, and it worked rather well. If I lift up the carpet, you'll see under here, that's where your tools are, number plates, inflation kit, etc. Ooh, complimentary tow bar. As you can see, it just pushes up and then locks in place with this. Nice and straightforward. Great to know that the Qashqai can tow, even with e-power. Storage points and tethering points. And if you've noticed, they're anchored to the body. Excellent. Shopping bag hooks and a rear light. Actually, two. 12-volt socket, perfect for a rear dash cam. You'll quite easily get a month's shopping in there. What, say 3 suitcases? So, perfect for holidays, etc. Now, removing the parcel shelf. These just pop off. You just slide it out. It's nice and light, and that all helps with economy. Drop in the seats, nice and simple. Push this up and almost catapults itself down. Same with this side. Whoa! Beware of that. Nice spring-loaded action. They lay virtually flat. Small gap here, but nothing to write home about. And I'll quite easily get my electric mountain bike in there. And it is a Trek rail. I think I might have to remove the front wheel, but that says something anyway, because that bike is big. Let's take a look under the bonnet. To release the bonnet, you just pull. To open, push left. And look, a nice bright colour. It's easy to see where you top up fluids, and great to see a proper engine and a hybrid system combined. Interesting. You can tell that these are built for all-wheel drive because it looks like the air intake is quite high up. I think we'll have to get an all-wheel drive one day. Decent weight on the bonnet too. Welcome behind the wheel of the Qashqai e-power. Under the bonnet we've got a 1.5 litre engine, which is 3-cylinder. It's also got an electric motor and a battery. And the engine isn't actually connected to the wheels. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a peppy engine.
The thing is, it's driven by the electric motor. What the petrol engine does is charge the battery. So it's got an inverter as well. And it's a lot of fun to drive. I can see why it's one of the best selling vehicles in the UK. You get a lot of car for the money. It's spacious, it's practical, it's versatile, and it's full of safety. You've got this little button on the steering wheel with a blue circle, and as soon as you put that on, it enables all the safety like lane keep assist, etc, etc. The thing is, it doesn't nag, it just firms up the car, but it's an extra level of overwatch.
Yeah, and that's it on today's roads with how many cars there are, and any extra level of safety that you can get is only going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Great steering, nice and weighty, good feedback. Rather responsive drive, to be honest. Yes, third body roll, but it's an SUV. But it's not to the point that it's like a van. It just adds to comfort, doesn't it? Well,
talking of comfort, we've been in this car now for a number of hours, and yet great comfort, no backache. It's been a joy to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, long hauls it copes with in spades, doesn't it?
And that's it, you've also got great visibility out of the big windscreen.
Blind spot detection.
Yeah.
And because it's hybrid, you can feel there's like a level of regen. You can't adjust it, But the thing on top of that, you've got a proper EV mode.
I made it to the centre of the village and back the other day in pure EV mode.
But 9 times out of 10, this will drop into electric mode anyway.
Yeah, and it does it seamlessly. I do love a hybrid because you get the best of both.
Yeah,
this system does it well.
It just plods along.
Yeah.
But if you put your foot down, my word.
Nice example of the brakes there. Stops as well as it goes.
It does transform it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Love the cluster too. Digital, analog, nice and straightforward. You can see when it's charging and when it's regenning.
Obviously we can't show you the lights because it's bright daylight, but trust us, they are good.
LEDs.
And because we've got the Techno trim, we've got the slightly larger infotainment screen, haven't we?
Yes, we have. And if you want to transform the acceleration in it, just put it in sport mode. You'll notice the difference between each driving mode too. The best way to experience it, I'd say, Annabelle, is to put it in sport and then put it straight into eco after you've done a little bit of accelerating, and you will notice the drop off. I mean, we're currently getting 46.3 to the gallon, and we've just been hooning down the motorway. And
that's in standard mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say, if you put it in eco and start plodding around villages, it wouldn't surprise me if you're closer to 58.
Yeah.
And they're nice to drive. And I think they look good too.
Yeah.
Look at the way it copes with this.
Switchbacks here?
It just gobbles up bumps.
Yeah. No, there's very little to dislike about this car.
I can't find anything, sadly. That's like it's biased, doesn't it?
Yeah, it isn't though, guys, honestly. It's just there is a lot to love about it.
I'll just hit sport now. And this is how fast we can leap out of junctions.
And that's it with those tight junctions where it's difficult to see. I'm pinned in my seat, Benjamin.
We're at the limit. Because it's an electric motor, it knows how to put the power down as well, so it doesn't scrabble for grip either. It just goes. Yeah. You will hear a bit of engine noise, but
it's a hybrid.
Well, I think it's quieter than a CVT.
Yes.
CVT is, you know, a renowned for.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
The thing is, this is well refined, so I mean, yes, you can hear road noise now. Get it on a nice bit of lovely tarmac.
Ooh, and the refinement is wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's on the motorway, very little road noise.
Yeah. Well, we've had a seamless journey back, well, there and back, to be honest with you.
Wind noise is limited as well. You do have big mirrors, and it's only when you get to a certain speed that you'll hear it.
But it's ticking a lot of boxes, this Qashqai.
It starts at around 39, doesn't it?
Yeah, but we've got some options on it here, so ours is just over 41.
If you're after a family SUV, then Qashqai is one to actually take out and test drive, isn't it?
And see for yourself what we're talking about.
Yeah.